Hi, I'm Amy with Concordia Supply. Today, Scott Spradley from the team at Cokesbury is joining us to share more about Food Truck Party VBS. Hi, Scott.
Hello.
I'm really glad that you're here with me today. I'm excited about churches to hear about Food Truck Party from you. I will tell you that at the various events I've been to and even conversations with directors, there's been a lot of interesting questions around Food Truck Party. And I've been excited about that. It looks like a terrific theme for us this year. So I think through our conversation, we're going to be able to share with people how special this theme is and why it's a great theme for them this year. So let's just get right into it. Scott, tell us a little bit about this fun theme called Food Truck Party.
All right. Thank you. So, Food Truck Party is all about how God provides for us, but it's also about us making sure that we turn to God in prayer for our needs. And the theme verse for this program is from the Lord's Prayer. It's "Give us this day our daily bread," and so that is part of the Lord's Prayer. But so every day when kids come to Food Truck Party, they're going to say the words of that prayer. They're going to pray that prayer. So they're not just memorizing part of the Bible, they're actually regularly practicing and learning how to practice the prayer, if you will, of petition and praying to God, turning to God for what they need. And so that's the big thing we want them to come away with. But when a child comes to Food Truck Party VBS, they're going to walk in. They're going to be a chef, is what they're called. And the first place they go, besides registration, we want them to go to registration, obviously. But besides that, the next place they go is to assembly time. And in assembly time, they'll experience all the great music that our music producer, Andy Wilson, has put together for Food Truck Party. But that's where they'll also meet the top chef. And you know what? I actually brought him with me.
Good.
Our puppet friend, DJ Cupcake. And
Yes.
DJ Cupcake is a food truck expert. And so we brought, so DJ Cupcake actually will help the top chef figure out how to run a food truck. And because top chef, even though his name is, or her name is Top Chef, they're a first time food truck owner. They don't know so much about it. And so, with the help of DJ Cupcake and some great stories from the Bible, um, our chefs, Top Chef, they'll learn about how to run a food truck party, but more important, they're going to learn about all the ways that God provides, and they're going to learn to turn to God for what they need. So that's kind of a nutshell of what this VBS is about.
It's such a practical theme. You know, if kids have never eaten food, it would be irrelevant, but that's not the case. This is something they can apply every day of their life.
You got it. You got it. Well, and one of the other things that's really neat is this year. So all of our VBS programs have what we on the inside call key learnings. And this year's key learnings are called daily specials. And the daily specials are the key learnings, but they point back to the Bible stories, but they also build that old familiar prayer, God is great. God is good. Let us thank God for our food. By God's hands we are fed. Give us, Lord, our daily bread. And you see, I had to look at that last line. But yeah, we in my house growing up, I think we did the first half of it, but we didn't do the second half. So I love that second half. But I think when kids do this prayer at the dinner table with their families, or they do it on their own, that every line of that is going to remind them of a story from the Bible that shows how God provides. And I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And so some of those Bible stories include what? I think we've talked through one of them. What are some of those other major Bible stories that they'll learn about?
So God provides manna and quail
Okay.
from Exodus, Elijah, the widow, and the endless oil from First Kings, Daniel and friends eating the good stuff, Jesus feeds the 5,000 plus from John, and Jesus cooks the catch of the day from John. It's a
All centered
post-resurrection
around,
story.
yeah, all centered around God's provision. So that's fantastic. So I will say this, that I've had some people ask me this question. They say, Amy, we live out in the country. We're a rural church. I don't think my kids know what a food truck is. And will this work for us? How would you
Wow.
respond to that?
Wow. So Amy, I think in my life I've I've volunteered in VBS, but I've also done a good bit of youth ministry. I've done a lot of it out in rural areas, and one of the things that I can tell you is in some of the rural towns I've been to, the concession stand at sports fields is often a food truck, and if it's
True,
not a food truck, it's very similar to the food truck experience,
true.
where the food is cooked right there in front of you. And then if you've ever been to a county fair,
Oh,
all the all the things that they deep fry at that county fair, um, that happens in a food truck. So that's how they get all
okay.
those wonderful things to us, from the cotton candy to the corn dogs. That all rolls into the county fair in a food
Yeah,
truck. So
that's good.
and then there's the ice cream truck. So I
Yeah,
think we've
yeah.
all experienced that.
Okay, well, that helped me wrap my head around that. I appreciate that because I hadn't thought of some of those. So that's true. Kids have experienced all those. So tell us a little bit about what a typical day at VBS might be. If I drop my child off and they enter the doors, what are they going to experience?
So again, the first thing they'll experience is they'll come into assembly time. They'll hear the music. One of the great things that I think we've done recently at Cokesbury VBS is we have added or we've substituted or changed our video. So in there, they're going to have the music. They're going to meet the top chef and DJ Cupcake. But they're also going to get their first look at the Bible story through what we call a Bible adventure video. So every child has heard the Bible story by the time they leave the opening assembly. And then they're going to go to crafts and snacks and science and Bible storytelling, where they get an even deeper look at the Bible story. Some churches use our reflection leader guide, where they can have some quiet down time to reflect and interact and discuss the story. So they'll go through all these stations, and every station is takes us right back to the Bible story. So they're going to know that Bible story by the time they leave, and they're going to know it from so many different angles. And it, we try to design these programs so they hit all learning styles. So
Okay.
you may not get it in crafts. It may not work for you, but maybe in science it's going to work, or maybe in music it's going to work. And
Yeah.
that's one thing that's also, I think, kind of cool about our VBS is our music director writes a lot of songs that connect directly to or retell that story one more time. So by the time they're through that, then they go to closing assembly. And the first thing that's available in closing assembly is some pretty easy but fun Bible trivia to reinforce it one more time. And then our top chef, DJ Cupcake, also lead them through that. So they're gonna know that Bible story when they leave. They're gonna know what it's about. They're going to know that daily special, and they're
Yeah.
going to have a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, it sounds like that you're reinforcing those truths in every activity the kids experience over
That's
and over.
that's ex- that's exactly right. We believe in repetition, but we also know that we all learn differently,
Hmm.
and we experience things differently. And that's one of the things I think is just great about VBS in general, is it offers multiple ways for us to connect with the stories that we have in the Bible
Yeah,
and help us
yeah,
connect with God.
yeah. So I wonder, Scott, do you have any special moments that you just kind of cherry pick out of Food Truck Party that you're really excited for kids to experience this summer, or a favorite Bible passage?
Well, I think the whole atmosphere of Food Truck Party is exciting, but I have to say, from my test church experiences, the story of Daniel and friends, or Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, eating the good stuff for session 3, um, is a great day. It's a great day in lots of ways, but in the drama for that and the Bible
Mm,
storytelling session, got so much great response from the kids
mm,
at all of our test churches. I think they liked all the stories, but that seemed to be the favorite, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking, I can't wait to hear back from kids who learned the song from session 1, "Manna in the Morning." And some of our VBS directors, there's it turns out there's a song that they have to sing every day. I'll be really surprised if that's not the song. So looking forward to
okay,
kids hearing that too.
okay,
Oh,
great.
and science. I'm sorry, I've got to say this about
Yeah,
science.
yeah.
Session 2 for Elijah the widow and the endless oil. One of the science experiments is actually making bread in a way that
Oh,
would be very similar to the way that the widow made it in that story. And I think it went over great in our test churches. But I do think I, I I think that's one of my favorite parts of this
yeah,
VBS, is they get to see, this biblical recipe come to life in front of them. So
that sounds fun. And I'm assuming they get to eat the bread then.
they do, they
Good.
do.
How fun. They'll never forget that, I know.
That's for
Well,
sure.
let's just take just a minute and talk to those directors who may be in their very first year of directing VBS. You feel like you have
Okay.
anything you can share that'll encourage them or help them in their first year in this role?
Yes, absolutely. So what I get from first time directors a lot is, number one, I think they just want to do a good job. They want to do a great
Mm,
job, and they want to make
I
sure the
agree.
kids have a good experience.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think that they want to maybe follow our recipe exactly.
Mhm.
And what I want to say is, if the kids come to VBS and they have fun, they feel loved by God and by some adults in your church and other kids, um, I think you've done your job.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
following our recipe step by step is not nearly as important as the heart and soul and spirit that you put into this.
Mm,
And so I would just encourage you to trust God, trust yourself, and make this VBS your own. We put a lot in there, but our intention was that it would be flexible so
mm,
that you can do this in a way that fits your setting, and the capacity that you have with your volunteers and your facility and all of that. Um, Make it your own and make it fit what you have. Don't think we're the experts. You'll be the expert by the time you're done with this.
yeah. Well, that's good. You take the pressure off, so thank you.
You're
Well,
welcome.
VBS directors, I I hope you'll look closer at Food Truck Party. To me, this summer is another favorite. It is just such a colorful, imaginative, and relevant theme to kids this summer. So if you want to know more about Food Truck Party, I'll invite you to log on to concordiasupply.com/VBS. Food Truck Party is there where you can learn more. You can download samples of the leader guides to look into them and see what it looks like every day. Listen to the great music and compare the Bible content. All of that is found at concordiasupply.com/VBS. And then your next step is to order a starter kit. That starter kit is not only going to resource you to get ready for VBS, but it's also going to answer 99% of your questions. And if you have further questions, the team at Cokesbury, of course, they're willing to help. My team here at Concordia Supply, we're also really anxious to help and support you. We are behind you 100% and want you to be successful. So I'll even share my email address with you. If you have questions or you want to talk through how to do it, reach me at this email address. It's Amy, spelled A-M-Y, Amy at concordiasupply.com. And just know we're here to support, encourage, and sometimes you just need someone to pray with you, and we'll be happy to do that too. So VBS directors, thanks for watching our broadcast. Scott, thank you for joining us. It sounds like a great VBS, and you all keep up the good work over there, okay?
All right. Thank you, Amy, and we are so grateful for our partnership with Concordia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks, Scott.